In this video, join me as I explore one of the most underrated towns in West Africa, a place where voodoo temples stand in the shadows of Christian cathedrals, where you can hold a python while they slither around your feet, where you can tour world-class art galleries, and where you can stand on the very shores that were the final departure point for millions of African slaves during the Atlantic slave trade. This is one of West Africa's safest and most pleasant cities to explore, and even though I only spent an afternoon here, my visit was packed with interesting attractions. Welcome to Ouidah, Benin. Welcome to Ouidah. Heading down to the tourist center right now in the middle of town. Hopefully I have enough time to see everything. It's about 3 p.m. right now, so 4 hours daylight. Definitely wanted to stop in this city and check out all the sites. It's quite an important city, so it's the birthplace of Voodoo, and also a very important stop on the slave coast, so tons of slave history here. This is the Ouidah Cathedral right here, Catholic, and it's probably the only place in the world where you're gonna find a voodoo temple right across the street. So as you can see, this is the Temple de Python, and it is full of pythons. So this is one of the major tourist attractions here in Ouidah, in Benin in general. So you can actually get inside here, hold pythons, if that's what you're into. I'm not super interested in voodooism, so probably gonna pass on that. I definitely don't want to hold a python. I guess the python is considered somewhat sacred to the local voodoo practitioners, so pretty interesting. But inside there you can actually touch the pythons and so forth, hold one, put one around your neck. I don't like snakes, so not for me, but if you are so inclined, check out the Temple de Python, the voodoo temple here in the heart of Ouidah. I'm gonna go check out if the art gallery is open. I think it's just down here somewhere, but I heard it's pretty good, so one of the best in West Africa. So go check it out. Got some old architecture here. It looks like French Colonial. Pretty low-key place. Way quieter than I thought it would be. It's definitely got small town vibes, even though it's a pretty decent sized city. A lot of colonial architecture, I didn't expect that. So you can definitely see evidence of a bygone era here. Pretty beautiful, colorful building. I don't know what it was, but it doesn't even look like it's inhabited today. It looks like it's all shuttered up, but pretty beautiful. Made it to the Zinsou Art Gallery, which is free to enter here in Ouidah. There's a little library here as well. So plenty of like historical books here. Looks like Rin Tin Tin, some sort of exhibition. Little sculpture. Looks like a face almost. So you can see this three-headed sculpture holding a python. So again, a very important symbol within voodooism. And you can see the pythons on the top of their heads. Prevalent little symbol everywhere. Definitely a unique culture here. A little mermaid here basically, holding a python, so pretty interesting culture. So the whole museum is housed in this really impressive old colonial mansion. Some interesting tapestries. Some of it's just downright bizarre. This one's just a collection of pans and olive oil. It's kind of out there. And this one's a room basically filled with a bunch of insects. So sorry for the oscillation here. The refresh rate is just struggling with the kind of lights they have in here, so it's going to be annoying on screen. Apologize for that. But this gives you a sense of some of the art here at the gallery. Really well done. You wouldn't expect to find such a decent art gallery in a small town like this. Pretty cool. And free of charge, so pretty amazing. This one over here reminds me a bit of a dream catcher almost like indigenous art. And these are a bit more abstract, just paint falling basically. And there's this one that I guess is meant to be mounted sideways or crooked like this. And again, I'm no art expert. I try to enjoy it because I'm such a pragmatic person. It's the complete opposite of my personality, but I try my best to appreciate what I can. It's like one of the helmets they wear on the motorcycles around here, covered in shells. You don't see that every day. And like I said, some of it's just downright bizarre. Like this is a carpet that's been kind of carved up. Really interesting. Just holes cut out of it. And to get even weirder, right over here, this is just a room full of bottles. Really, really random. There's even more over here. Now, I thought this was sand at first glance, but it's actually fabric, if you look closely. And I think that's it. I think I've seen it all now. Well worth the stop here in Ouidah. Got this decent little cafe here as well. Definitely a cozy little cafe. Probably one of the best you're going to find here in Ouidah. So I just ordered myself an iced Nespresso, which looks really good. And this was 2,000 francs, so about $4 to $5 Canadian, somewhere in there. So here we go. Cheers. Oh, wow. Man, that is refreshing. It's like the best iced Americano. Nice and bold, so wow. Get one of these if you come to the museum. That's so good. Coffee, of course, is going to dehydrate me even more, but I don't care. I want a coffee. The temperature of that really does cool me off. So it is so hot today. It's like pushing 40. In any case, definitely come down here to the Gallery Zinsou, and you will see some really crazy art. If you're not even an art lover, come down and get one of these coffees. This is probably one of the top 3 coffees I've had in all of West Africa. Really high quality espresso in a small town in Benin. I'll take it. Really good. I already finished up with my coffee over here at the Foundation Zinsou. Highly recommended. You come to this Colonial mansion and check out the art gallery here. So I'm off to check out some of the slave trade historical sites here. First things first, I'm going to make my way down here to what they call the Place Tcha, I think. And it's the slave trading market, basically. So it's where the old governor's house used to be, I believe. And it was there that they used to auction off all the slaves. They used to march the slaves, I guess, all the way down to the waterfront where their boats awaited. There's a gate of no return down there as well. So that's on the agenda here for the next hour or so. So I'm walking alongside the Voodoo temple. They got some pretty interesting reliefs on here. Again, it's a pretty culturally unique place, the birthplace of voodooism, or voodoo. So I made it down here to Place Tcha. This was the location where the slaves were auctioned. So government buildings would be right here along the square. And this served as the main auction mart, one of the largest auction marts in Africa. And this is the beginning of what they call the slave route here, the path of the slaves, I believe. Plenty of history about the Atlantic slave trade here. And I believe there's some museums around here, but it's getting late in the day, so I'm going to skip the museums, but get a sense of it nonetheless. Massive old tree. That tree would have been here during the slave trade. Anyway, I'm going to proceed down towards the end of the road. So I'm going to get a motorbike. Really interesting place. Ouidah is just full of history. So definitely do not pass by this town on your way to Cotonou. There's a lot to absorb here. So it's definitely sobering to think about walking this route here, that the slaves would have been, you know, shackled person to person, shackled up, tied to one another, and led down this path for 4 kilometers, roughly 2.5 miles or so, all the way down to the coast. So it's definitely a sobering place. There's a lot of souvenir shops, unfortunately, but looks like this here is just more of a local village. All right, on a motorbike heading south now towards the coast, 4 kilometers or so. And I'm gonna give this guy 800 for the ride, so pretty reasonable for a 4 kilometer ride. All right, it was a short drive down here, but I made it here to the gate of no return. So this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the point that the slaves would be brought and loaded onto ships. So this is one of the most active slave export sites in Africa. Crazy. You can see the reliefs on here of all the shackled slaves heading out to sea. pretty impressive gate. So as you can see, it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The sign is a bit faded. It looks like it was once painted red, maybe. La Porte du Non-Retour, or the door of no return. That's the beach right there. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but pretty interesting. I don't know if it's voodoo related. And here you can see some shackled slaves, kind of with the cannons behind them. I think that's symbolic maybe of the European power pushing them towards the sea. So really sad history here. Beautiful beaches here though. The whole West African coastline has some amazing beaches. It is a shame that it's not more of a beach destination. Pretty evocative imagery of all the shackled slaves heading out to the ship that would have been in the water right here. Definitely give Benin your attention. It is a pretty diverse country for such a small country. There's a lot to see and do here. We entered Cotonou, the capital of Benin. So right out of the gate you can tell this is a massive city compared to little Lomé, Togo. Massive, really busy. So they have a Super U supermarket here in Cotonou. So I just alighted here from the shared taxi and gonna go get some groceries, then on my way to the hotel, which is just up the road. So this is what roughly $42 Canadian or maybe $30 US gets you in Cotonou, Benin. It's actually not that bad. The bed is really clean and it looks like a king. Air conditioner is powerful. There's a TV, little seating area, table, and the bathroom is pretty clean and decent. It's kind of a get everything wet type arrangement though, so the shower is not at all separated. I'm gonna get some rest, wake up bright and early for breakfast, and then out to explore this largest city here in Benin. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new episodes are posted. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.